Hey guys, it's me, Vario. Your 20s are not some random waiting room before real life starts. I came across this book called The Defining Decades, and one idea from it stayed with me that sounds obviously, but I think a lot of us live like we are waiting. Waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel confident, waiting to have the right people around us, waiting for life to suddenly feel more like real life. And I think that is one reason being in your 20s can feel so lonely. Because you are old enough to make your own choices, but still young enough to feel like you are making them with no manual. Nobody tells you how strange that feels. People say, "You are still young, don't worry." And yes, you are still young. But that sentence does not always help. Because when you are the one lying in bed at night, thinking about your job, your friends, your money, your future, and your whole personality, don't worry, does not do much. You are not worrying because you enjoy it. You are worrying because you can feel your life being built and you are not sure if you are building it right. That is the part people missed. Loneliness in your 20s is not always about having number one. Sometimes you have people, you have friends, you have contacts in your phone, you have a cat, you have people who would probably care if you told them you are not okay. But still, at night you feel alone, not because nobody exists, but because nobody can fully live your life for you. No one can choose your path for you. No one can sit inside your head and untangle everything. No one can become you on your behalf. That kind of loneliness is quiet. It does not look dramatic from the outside. Like you might still go to work, you might still reply to messages, you might still laugh at jokes and buy coffee and look completely normal. Then you go home, close the door, and suddenly there is this weird silence. And in that silence, your brain starts asking questions you avoided all day. Am I behind? Am I wasting time? Why does everyone else look like they know what they are doing? Why do I have people around me but still feel unknown? I know a lot of people feel ashamed of that. They think I should be grateful. My life is not that bad. But loneliness does not only show up when your life is terrible. Sometimes it shows up when your life is changing. Sometimes it shows up when the old version of you does not fit anymore. But the new version is not fully here yet. That middle part is uncomfortable. And honestly, I think many people in their 20s are living in the middle part. You are not a student in the same way anymore. You are not fully settled either. You are somewhere between who you are and who you are trying to become. That can make even normal days feel heavy. You wake up, you check your phone, you see someone traveling, someone moving in with their partner, someone starting a new job, someone looking happier than you feel. And even if you know social media is not real life, it still gets you into sometimes. I do not think comparison is always jealousy. A lot of the time, comparison is fear. You are not looking at someone else's life because you hate them. You are looking because you are trying to check if you are okay. You are fine. You are trying to figure out whether you missed a step, a path, or a destination, a decision, and that is exhausting because there's no real answer. There's no official timeline like you can do whatever you want in any time, but you are always doing comparison. Some people find their people earlier, some people find them later. Some people know what career they want at 22. Some people change direction at 30. Some people look confident because they actually are. Some people look confident because they have practiced hiding their uncertainty. For the outside, it is hard to tell the differences. That is why you have to be careful with what you use as evidence against yourself. A photo is not evidence. A delayed reply is not evidence. One lonely night is not evidence that your whole life will feel this way. Your tired brain will try to turn small things into big conclusions, especially at night. So don't worry. And after reading this book, I get this. At night, everything sounds more final. A quiet room feels like proof that nobody cares. A bad day feels like proof that you are falling down. Someone else's happy post feels like proof that you are behind. But sometimes the truth is much simpler. You are tired. You need to sleep. You just need to lie down. You need better connection. And you need something in your daily life that feels real. That does not mean your life is broken. It means something needs attention. That it's a very different things. And I think one usually and useful way to look at loneliness is this. Loneliness is information. It is not your identity. It is not saying you are unwanted. It might be saying you need more places where you feel known. That is useful sentence to keep. Because if you treat loneliness as your identity, you started acting like there is nothing you can do. You become the lonely person. The lonely person. You stop reaching out because you assume nobody wants to hear from you. You stay in the same pattern because the feeling starts to feel like fat. But if you treat loneliness as information, then you can ask a better question. Not, what is wrong with me? But, what is missing from my life right now? Maybe you're missing routine. Maybe you are missing a place where people recognize you. Maybe you are missing friendship where you do not have to perform, to hide. Maybe you are missing honest conversation. Maybe you are missing physical presence, not just messages. Maybe you are missing a version of yourself that used to feel easier to be. That question is more useful. Audrey. So cute. Because once you know what is missing, you can make one small move. Not a dramatic life change, just one small move. A lot of people try to fix loneliness with pressure. They tell themselves they need a whole new friend group, a perfect relationship, a better body, a better job, a new city, a complete transformation. That is too much. When you're already lonely, pressure makes you freeze. You can't move. Your brain stops thinking and start smaller. Pick one person you actually like and send a normal message. Not a deep confession. Not a perfect paragraph. Just something human. I saw this, thought of you. Do you want to get coffee sometime? I have been a bit quiet lately, but I miss you. That's enough. Another thing that helps is becoming a regular somewhere. This sounds boring, but it matters. Go to the same cafe and same dream room class, the same bookstore, the same park, the same little places where people slowly become familiar. A lot of friendships come from repeated proximity, and that's why school friendships felt easier. You got it? And you did not magically have better social skill at school. You just saw the same people at all the time, and adulthood removes the structure, so you have to build some of it back, not in a fake networking way, in a very simple human way. Go where people exist, go more than once, let yourself become part of the background somewhere. You do not have to be charming every time, you just have to show up enough for life to have a chance to meet you. And that is something I wish more people said. Connection is not always found by chasing, and sometimes it is built by returning. Returning to the same places, returning to the same people, and returning to yourself after you have spent too long trying to be someone easier to like. And I know that sounds simple, but simple does not mean useless. Most useful things are simple. Sleep earlier, eat actual food, send a message, leave the room, and stop watching content that makes you hate your life, and choose people who makes your body feel calm. Do not make a permanent story out of a temporary mood. And these are not glamorous sentences, but they help. Because when you feel lonely, you do not need a quote that sounds pretty. You need something that works at 1 a.m. Something like, do not trust every thought you have after midnight. That sentence has saved me more than once. Now, the time now is midnight because late night thoughts can sound very convincing. They use your own voice, they bring evidence, they remind you of things that you already insecure about, but they are not always wise. Sometimes they are just loud because you are tired. So when your brain starts building a whole case against you at night, do not argue with every detail. Just say, this is not the time to design my whole life. That's it. And you can think again tomorrow. Morning does not fix everything, but it usually makes things less dramatic. And other useful sentences is, I need connection, not self-hatred. And because when people feel lonely, they often attack themselves. They think they are boring or work behind, hard to love, but attacking yourself does not create connection. It only makes you hide more. And so to answer is not to become perfect before you let people see you. The answer is become a little more honest in small ways. You do not need to tell everyone everything, but maybe you can stop pretending you do not care when you do. Maybe you can stop acting like you are fine when surface level friendship if you want deeper ones. Maybe you can stop giving all your energy to people who make you feel like you are too much. That's not dramatic. That's just self-respect, and self-respect is not always loud. Sometimes it's just designed not to beg for warmth from cold people. Sometimes it is choosing not to reread a message 10 times, and sometimes it is making your own room feel nicer because you live there and your life deserves care even when nobody is visiting. And that last one matters. Your private life still counts, and the version of you that no one sees still deserves a decent life, and not just the version that goes outside, not just the version that takes photos, not just the version that performs well. The quiet version of you matters too. The one brushing their teeth at night, the one eating alone, the one trying again after a bad week, the one is sitting on the edge of the bed not knowing what to do next. The version is not a failed version. That is the real person you have to take care of. I think the best takeaway from this whole thing is not your 20s must be perfect. That would be awful. The takeaway is, do not sleepwalk through your own life just because you feel unsure. And you are allowed to be unsure and still make choices. You are allowed to be lonely and still reach out. You are allowed to feel behind and still build something slowly. And waiting to feel ready can steal years from you. So do not wait for a completely different personality. Do one useful thing that person you are now, and send one message, go to one place, clean one part of your room, apply for one thing, and tell the truth once. Rest without insulting yourself. And these small things are not small when they change the direction of your day, and days become your life. So if you feel lonely in your 20s, I do not want to tell you that it's all beautiful. Sometimes it is not. Sometimes it is boring and painful and embarrassing. Sometimes you miss people who are still alive. Sometimes you miss a version of life that cannot come back. Sometimes you feel like everyone else inside a room you cannot find the door to. I get that. But I also want you to know that a lonely season is not a life sentence. It is a signal. It is asking you to pay attention to your friendship, to the place you go, to your habits, to the people you keep choosing, to the way you talk to yourself when no one is around. You do not need to fix all of it tonight, but do not ignore it forever. Start with one honest thing. Like, that is how a life opens again, not all at once, not like a movie, and just slowly, one walk, one sentence, one better choice, one place you return to, and one person you let in a little more. One night where you decide not to believe the worst story about yourself. That is enough for now. And if tonight is one of those nights where the room feels too quiet, let this be the sentence you keep. I am not unwanted. I am underconnected. That is a problem you can work with. It does not mean you are broken. It means your life needs more real contact, more warmth, more places where you do not have to act. That is not shameful. That is human. So, no, you are not weak for feeling lonely. You are not weak for wanting to be known. You are not behind because your life is quieter than someone else's highlight reel, and you are in the middle of the building a life, and the middle is messy, but it's still a real part of the story. Keep going, keep trying, in a way that actually helps you, not by hating yourself into a better life, by choosing one small thing that makes your life less close than it was yesterday. It's me, Vario. See you next time. Till then, bye.